What is up, my dudes? Well, 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 another Pulsecon. Exciting times, right? I actually stayed up quite late for me to watch the whole thing. Well, by the whole thing I mean the Transformers section, then I dipped to bed and watched some One Piece. But that's the part that you've come here to talk about, right? Whew, it's always so exciting finding out what the next year's wave is going to have in store for us. The new series, Transformers Legacy United. A new gimmick, a new play pattern. Not Rock Lords. I think I like it. They look pretty cool. They kind of tried to be like, oh, my friend's Six Shot. That's what we're referencing there, not the Rock Lords. They kind of turned into cars covered in rocks. Whatever. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it, shall we? So, a lot of this wasn't a super surprise because we'd had leaked listings and things like that, so we had some idea of what we were potentially getting. There was like the Screen Rant previews of Bumblebee and animated Optimus and leak listings and all that jazz, but it's very different getting to see it in the flesh, and I really enjoyed the hype and pomp and ceremony that we got from having Thew and Dan on the scene, doing the whole thing. And Mark, man, I can't get enough of Mark. I love that guy. He's great. So let's go through it all in the order that they gave it to us and unpack what are we gonna get. First up, core class, we got to see Energon Megatron, which is sick because I love Energon Megatron, but un petit peu. He's too small, right? I would really, really like if they could do him as a leader class. He would be sick as a leader class. Then you could do another Shattered Glass Megatron if you wanted to. You could probably even like use him for Thunderwing or whatever the hell that guy's name is. You know that pretender guy, that big guy? The Thunderwing? I think it's Thunderwing. So, I won't get it because he's going to be small and weird and I'm not about that. But it's nice that it exists and Energon is getting a little bit of love because Energon has been really underrepresented. But then we got to have a look at the first of the rock weaponizers from the Inferniac universe. We got to see Boulder Clash, little Ruby Quartz Trike, Steven Universe style. I'm not sure about the vehicle modes on these guys, like the wheels and things. Make the wheels look like rocks. Lean into the rock a little bit more than it looking like, you know, someone has just never washed their car. Like rock armor, it's pretty cool, right? It's a wide multiverse out there, anything's possible. So I will definitely get him. On the back of the packaging images that have come out with the pre-orders, you see his weapon mode and the big pointy stick, big rock club. Then we get to Tasmanian Kid, which is super exciting because Beast Wars II is sick. Beast Formers in general are sick. A little bit of Australian representation by way of a Tasmanian devil, except it doesn't really look like a Tassie devil, not really coloured like a Tassie devil, but they can only work with what they've got. I'm gonna get it. With Tasmanian Kid as well, I quite like that he still manages to have those like big goofy oven mitt hands. That's a fun little carryover that they managed to work in there. Then we got to see the Wave 1 Deluxe class listings. We start off with animated Bumblebee. Super glad it exists because I love animated. Animated was like, I don't know, it just hit different. I was such a huge fan when they were coming out. I have every mainline animated figure except for Sentinel Prime because he should have been a Voyager. He was too small and stupid. Leave it out. Actually, redo him. That's a good one. So like the Bumblebee that we are getting, I get it. To have that animated face, you can't kind of, you know, G1ify it too much. Glad it exists. I don't know if I'll actually pick him up, but because he's cool, but I don't know if I need that in my life. Okay, if I'll get him. I'll get him. Then we get to see a real mean looking bot by way of Magnus. Him, I will definitely pick up. He looks sick. I like the idea of the rock parts coming off and being able to arm up people and things like that. That's a gimmick I can get behind. The weaponizers, I loved them. There should have been more of them. Fossilizers, Junkions, I liked the concept, but I didn't like that with each of them, you were kind of just left with like a big chunk of torso that you couldn't really do anything with. The weaponizers, at least every part turned into a weapon. It seems like these Rock Bros are going to be a little bit similar to the Junkions in terms of you're left with a huge hunk at the end, but whatever. We're still going to get them. It's a nifty idea. At least they're making new characters and playing with the concepts and things like that. I really liked what Mark was saying about the hollow chest and the no spark, because he's not, you know, technically a transformer, he's just a transforming life form. See what you did there. Then we get a new Windblade, specifically a Cyberverse Windblade, which is pretty cool. Like, I've definitely planned on getting that, because I like Windblade as a character. Fans made her, right? It's something special. When I first saw her, I was a little bit underwhelmed. The wings looked real, like, plasticky. It looked more like she was kind of like a core class from the level of sort of sculpt, but as like the product photography has come out and we've seen some more shots and things, she's really grown on me, so that's one that I'm actually quite looking forward to now. So, Rescue Bot Chase. That's an interesting one for them to have dropped in there. He looks cool. I think they've done a pretty good job of like G1ifying like his whole look and that head into something like quite cool. I've never watched Rescue Bots because I'm not a little kid, but I do now have a little kid, so Rescue Bots might be a good way to slowly indoctrinate him into, you know, franchise life. I did also think it was pretty interesting that they almost seemed more excited about the partial remold possibilities coming, and they were like, someone big is coming. You have a look at that chest. I'm thinking we're gonna get Prime Cliff Jumper out of this mold. I also wouldn't be surprised if they do a Movieverse Barricade out of this. Who knows? Time will tell. I don't mind. Give us whatever you got. We'll take it. We'll eat it up. It's how we do. So then we move on to the Wave 1 Voyager listings, and I couldn't be more excited. I can't quite remember the last time I was looking forward to a set of Voyager figures this much. Firstly, like I said, Transformers Animated for me personally just hit different. And Animated Optimus is one of my all-time favourite incarnations of Optimus. In fact, I have a tattoo on my back of Optimus Prime going from truck to robot in 4 pictures running up my spine. That's how much I love Transformers Animated. So this figure for me is an absolute must-have. And in this particular example, I really like the way they've G1ified him. They've kept, like, you know, his animated face a little bit, but with the extra surface detailing and the amendments they've made to his sculpt and how they managed to still represent his vehicle, he's just a really cool, like, Cybertronian, otherworldly, multiversal Optimus, and I want it so badly. I really cannot wait to review that one. Alright, so then we knew Thundertron was coming, because we'd seen him in leaked listings, and we also know that he's going to be part of, like, the Pirate Capsule, so we're getting, I don't know, 2 slightly different versions of Thundertron, potentially. I'm gonna get both, because I love that Prime Thundertron figure. I think it's a shame he never showed up in the show. I know he's in some novelizations and stuff like that, but I don't want to read them. I will, however, buy this toy because he looks sick. The G1ification of Thundertron is exceptional. Mark was saying he still has the peg leg. Hopefully that can peg on and he can still do that cool cat punch thing that he did. I just love it. I love everything about it. I love the way his beard looks. I love the way they've done away with some of the translucent parts. I like the bronze instead of the gold. Everything about this figure to me is just shouting win. Win, win, win. T-Pain style. All he does is win. I want it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be glad for it. And then the final new figure that we got to have a look at today was Tigerhawk. Now, we've known for quite a while that this figure was coming. I personally didn't have like super high hopes. Like, the show model was kind of weird. The actual toy itself was just so 90s in terms of just, I don't know. I think he's an example of bad 90s. It's a cool toy. It's cool for then. But I think they've done an exceptional job of updating him for now. They've kept true to his essence while just giving him slightly like more of a modern vibe, which I, for one, really appreciate. And where I had been like, yeah, well, I'll obviously get it because, you know, later class figures are sick. Now I'm super looking forward to it. He actually looks really cool in both modes, and I appreciated what Mark was saying about how they really wanted to bring in the Tigertron and the Air Razor elements sculpt-wise to make it feel like that fusion that he was in the show. And, you know, whilst he's no longer like a spring-loaded levered nightmare, it does look like they've done a really good job of staying true to a lot of the gimmicks he had with, you know, the feather axe and the underwing guns, and he's got the cool shoulder pauldron with the translucent part on it. Looking at it though, it does to me look a little bit like arms wise he's only going to be able to get up to about here. The pauldrons on his shoulders do look like they might limit articulation a little bit, so we're just going to have to wait and see how that shakes out. And then, the final thing that I want to address is that sick United poster art. Two things on that stood out to me that I think will have stood out hugely to all of y'all as well. Tidal Wave. Yes. In image, armed up with Megatron, and then Magmatron. Front and center. Larger than life. No denying it. No way around it. No hinting. Magmatron. This is one I certainly never expected that we would be getting our hands on an updated Magmatron. So, I love Magmatron. I have the original. He's lurking behind me on my Decepticon leader shelf. Phenomenal toy. Phenomenal concept. Sick dude. But that does leave the lingering question of Tidal Wave and Magmatron. Who's going to be the Commander release and who's the Titan release? Because to pair up with Leader Class Megatron, I don't know if a Titan Class Tidal Wave matches size-wise to be able to do that armoring up. So I'm assuming that he'll probably be Commander, which would leave Magmatron to be Titan. And so is he going to be enormous? Or is the complexity of him what's going to make him kind of work at that Titan price point? Or is he going to be a Titan because they're actually going to give each of his individual Dino components their own alt mode, and then he's going to be a combiner, Tripredacus Council style? I don't know. Let the speculation begin. What do you think? What are your theories? What have you heard? What are the rumors? What's lurking around in the deep dark corners of the fandom on the internet? Hit me up in the comments below. Thank you for coming with me on this wild ride. And until the next one, let's get nerdy with it. Catch.